You have heard the first 4 words of the Bible your whole life. Let there be light. We picture it like a switch, a sunrise, God flipping on the lights of the universe so the day could begin. But here is what almost no one notices. Read a few lines further, and you find something strange. The sun is not made on the first day. Neither is the moon. Neither is a single star. They do not appear until the 4th day. So if the sun did not exist yet, then what exactly was the very first light? This is the true story behind those words. To understand these words, we have to travel back to a moment before there were any moments at all. The book we call Genesis opens the Bible, and it opens the entire story of the world. Its very name means beginning, and it was written down for a people who, thousands of years ago, lived surrounded by other nations: Egypt, Babylon, Canaan, each with their own loud, violent stories about how the world began. And those other stories were remarkably similar to each other. In them, the universe began with a war. Gods fought gods. Monsters were slain. The sky was made from the split-open corpse of a defeated sea dragon. The earth was an accident, the leftover wreckage of a divine battle. And human beings? In those stories, people were made almost as an afterthought, created to be slaves, to do the dirty work the gods were tired of doing themselves. That was the air these first readers breathed. A universe born from violence, a world that was an accident, a life that was cheap. And then against all of it comes a different voice, telling a completely different kind of story. In the beginning, God created the heavens and the earth. No war, no rival gods, no monster to defeat. Just one being, already there before everything, speaking a world into existence on purpose.
And the text describes the starting point with 3 haunting words. The earth, it says, was formless, like a canvas with no shape. It was empty, like a house with no one living in it. And darkness covered the face of the deep, a vast, black, watery abyss, the ancient image of everything wild and uncontrollable. Formless, empty, dark. That is where everything starts. Not with a bang of glory, but with a silence so complete there was no one to hear it, and a darkness so total there was nothing to see. And into that darkness, the text says, the Spirit of God was hovering over the waters, moving, present, like a bird over its nest, waiting. Something was about to be said, and nothing in the universe would ever be the same. Imagine the scene the way the text asks us to. Not empty space, but a churning, dark, formless deep. No sun to light it, no shore to contain it, no sky above and no ground below. Just endless dark water, and over it, the Spirit of God, moving. And here is the first thing that should stop us. In every other ancient story, the gods had to fight the dark water. It was their enemy, a chaos monster to be hacked apart before a world could be built. But here, there is no fight. The deep does not threaten God. It simply waits, like clay waits for a potter. The most powerful, terrifying force the ancient world could imagine, the dark, drowning chaos, is, in this story, just raw material in the hands of someone completely unbothered by it. And then it happens. The first event in the history of everything. God speaks. Not a weapon raised, not an army summoned, not a struggle. A voice. 4 words in the ancient language, 3 in ours. Let there be light. And there was light. Think about how understated that is. The most staggering event imaginable, the first light in the history of the cosmos, and the Bible describes it in the plainest words possible. He spoke. It was so. No strain, no effort, no resistance. What God says simply is. The gap between His word and reality is nothing. He speaks, and the universe obeys. And then comes a small line we rush past, but shouldn't. The text says, God saw that the light was good. Good. Before there is a single human being to enjoy it, before there is anyone to say thank you, God looks at what He has made, alone, and calls it good. This is a universe that is loved by its maker from the very first instant. Not a battlefield, not an accident, but something crafted with care and pronounced beautiful. And here is our first thing to hold on to. Remember, there is still no sun, no star, nothing burning in the sky, and yet there is light. Keep that question open. We will come back to it because it changes everything. Watch what He does next. God separates the light from the darkness. He names them. The light He calls day. The darkness He calls night. And with that, time itself begins to tick. There was evening and there was morning. The first day. And this is the pattern that now unfolds, beat after beat, and it is breathtakingly ordered. Because the problem, remember, was twofold. The world was formless and it was empty. And God solves them in perfect symmetry. First, He gives the world form. Then, He fills the emptiness. On the second day, He speaks again, and the waters divide. He lifts a great space between them, the sky, the open air. He is building rooms. He is making a place where things can live.
On the third day, He speaks, and the seas gather into their place, and dry land appears. And then again, let the land produce vegetation, and the bare earth erupts into green. Grass, plants, trees heavy with fruit, each carrying seed to make more of itself. A world that can now grow on its own, generation after generation. And again that quiet refrain. God saw that it was good. And then we arrive at the fourth day. And this is where our mystery finally gets its answer. Because it is now, on the fourth day, that God makes the sun and the moon and the stars, the great light to rule the day, the lesser light to rule the night. He sets them in the sky to mark seasons and days and years. Do you feel the strangeness of it? For 3 whole days, there has already been light. Day and night have already been turning. Plants have already been growing. And only now does the sun appear. The lights in the sky are not the source of light in this story. They are lamps that God hangs inside a light that was already His. The sun is not the hero. The sun is a servant, put in place to carry, for a while, a light that came from God's voice long before any star existed. Hold that. We are coming back to it, and it is the whole point. The fifth day, He speaks, and the empty seas filled with living things, and the empty skies filled with birds. The rooms He built are no longer bare. Life is moving into them. The sixth day, the land fills with animals of every kind, and the whole creation is nearly complete, formed and now full, room after room, each one good. And then everything slows down, because God is about to do something different. Up to now, He has said, let there be light, let there be land, let the waters teem. But now, the language changes. Now He says something no one has heard before. Let us make man in our image, after our likeness.
Remember those other ancient stories? The ones where humans were made as slaves, an afterthought, cheap labor for tired gods? Here, at the summit of creation, God makes human beings in His own image, not as slaves, as the crown of everything, as the ones who would carry something of himself into the world he made. And God looks at all of it, the light, the sky, the seas, the land, the living things, the people. Not just good now. The text lifts the word one final time. God saw everything that he had made, and behold, it was very good. From formless and empty and dark to very good. And it all began the instant a voice spoke into the darkness and said 3 words. So let's return to the moment everything turned. Back to the dark. Back to the formless deep before the first day. Because the surprise of this story is not that God made light. The surprise is how and when. In every rival story of that ancient world, creation was a victory. Something wrestled out of chaos through violence, sweat, and war. But here, the turning point of the entire universe is not a battle. It is a sentence. God does not fight the darkness. He does not wound it or defeat it. He simply speaks over it. And the darkness has no power to say no. And that is the shock hiding in the plainest verse in the Bible. There is no gap between what God wills and what becomes real. He says light, and light does not negotiate. It does not delay. And there was light. The most powerful force in existence is not the sun, not the sea, not the chaos. It is a word from God. And now, the part that undoes our lifelong assumption. We always pictured this as the sunrise, the first dawn. But the sun was still 3 days away from existing. So this first light could not have come from any star, any fire, any object in the sky.
Which means the very first light in the history of everything did not come from a thing. It came from a voice. It came directly from God. Before there was a single lamp in the sky, the universe was already lit by Him. The ancient readers would have felt the ground move under them. Every other nation bowed down to the sun as a god. And here was a story quietly saying, your great sun god is not the source of light. It is a lamp, hung up on day 4, carrying a light that was never its own. So what is that first light? The light that existed before the sun? That is the question the verse has been driving toward all along. And the answer is where its true meaning finally opens up. In the beginning, God created the heavens and the earth. The earth was without form and void, and darkness was over the face of the deep. And God said, "Let there be light." And there was light. We have shrunk this verse down to a sunrise, a nice image for the start of a nice day. And in doing that, we have missed almost everything it was trying to tell us. Start with what we just uncovered. The first light was not the sun. So the Bible is making a claim far bigger than astronomy. It is saying that light, real light, life, order, beauty, goodness, does not originate in things. It originates in God. The sun is just a delivery system. Take God out of the picture, and the sun is a burning rock. Light, in the deepest sense, is not a thing God made. It is something God is, spilling out into a world that had none. The earth was formless and empty, and darkness was over the deep. Look honestly at where the story begins. Not with beauty, with chaos, with emptiness, with a darkness so complete there is nothing and no one in it. The Bible does not pretend the starting point was lovely. It names the void for exactly what it is. And that matters, because it means God is not afraid of the dark. He is not repelled by the formless and the empty. That is precisely where He loves to begin.
And God said, "Here is the hinge of the universe. Not God fought, not God struggled. God said." Creation happens by a word, And that tells us something staggering about how much power a single word from God carries. When He speaks, reality rearranges itself to obey. Nothing, not the deep, not the dark, not the chaos, gets a vote. Let there be light. Notice, the light comes first, before the land is shaped, before the seas are gathered, before anything is filled or finished. The very first move God makes in a dark and formless world is to send light into it. Not because the work is done, the work has barely started, but because you cannot build anything good in the dark. Light comes first. Order and beauty follow. And there was light. 4 words in Hebrew, answered by 3. The command and the result almost the same length, almost the same breadth. That is the point the whole verse is built to make. With God, there is no distance between the Word and the world. He does not hope for light. He does not try for light. He speaks, and it is. And here is the misunderstanding, finally undone. This was never the story of a sunrise. It is the story of what God does with darkness. He does not run from it, and He does not lose to it. He speaks into it, and light that comes from Him, not from any star, floods the empty deep and turns formless and void into very good. That is who is speaking in the first line of the Bible. Not a distant force. A God whose first instinct, faced with total darkness, is to fill it with light, and to call what He makes good, and to make people in His own image to live in it. And if that is how the universe began, then it tells you exactly what He is still able to do. Maybe your life right now feels like verse 2.
Formless, empty, dark. Maybe something you were building fell apart, and what's left has no shape you can recognize. Maybe there's an emptiness where something used to be. A person, a purpose, a plan. Maybe it just feels like the lights went out, and no morning is coming. If that is you, then hear what the very first page of the Bible is quietly telling you. God does His best work in exactly that place. He did not wait for the universe to get its act together before He showed up. He did not need a sunrise, a spark, or a single good thing to build on. He met the formless, empty dark with nothing but His voice, and that was enough. Light came before the sun existed, which means the light you need was never dependent on your circumstances lining up first. It comes from Him. And notice, He did not fix everything at once. He started with light, and then, day by day, He gave the formless form, and He filled the empty, step by step. Your dark deep does not have to become very good overnight. It only has to receive the first thing God loves to give: light. Enough to see by, enough to begin. You are not too far gone, too broken, or too empty for God to work with. The dark, formless deep is not the exception to what He can redeem. According to page 1, it is His favorite place to start. You do not have to make the light yourself. You were never supposed to. You just have to let Him speak into the dark, and then take the next step in the light He gives. So the next time you hear those famous 3 words, "Let there be light," you'll know it was never just a poetic way to say sunrise. It was the moment a God who is not afraid of the dark spoke into the deepest emptiness there ever was, and filled it with a light no star could ever make. If this story made the oldest words in the Bible feel new again, take 1 second to like this video and subscribe. It genuinely helps these stories reach the people who need light tonight.
And stay with me, because in a quiet garden, not long after all of this began, everything that was very good would be broken by a single choice, and a voice would ask the first aching question in human history: There is a true story behind that question, too. I'll see you in the next one.